I'm here with Pedro Vidal, the CRO of Floki. So welcome back.
It's great to be back.
Here.
Yeah, thank you.
The cryptocurrency market has been extremely interesting lately.
Definitely.
How would you describe the current state of the crypto market?
Well, I think the reality is that we're seeing a lot of volatility, especially since the events of 10/10, right? The very infamous October 10th event where we saw just historic liquidations, especially in leveraged positions. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel. We're just currently, experiencing some pain, but that's not always a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, and there's also seems to have stabilized lately, and tokenization is gaining some traction. How do you see those two things?
Well, I think that we need to look at all the news and updates from a bird's eye perspective, right? So, for example, while there's been a lot of volatility in the market overall, let's look at some of the Bitcoin ETFs, for example. Out of all 12 Bitcoin ETFs, there hasn't been a single net outflow, right, in the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, we saw over $458 million of net inflows. So it's a very good sign. So basically, what that means is institutions are buying when there's uncertainty. In terms of tokenization, where I see it going, I think probably the best example would be with the future plans for the New York Stock Exchange and for ICE to do their tokenized platform for securities and ETFs. So I think this is very telling of where the industry is going, and it's important that we all pay attention.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like tokenization has become legitimate. Like, really took a leap ahead. There's a lot of big institutions like the stock exchange that are starting to use this technology.
Well, certainly.
So now let's talk about Floki.
Yes.
So what's the latest with the company?
Well, we can continue to grow, right? One of the things that we've always prided ourselves in is the fact that we were the world's first community takeover. So while you have traditional hierarchy in terms of leadership in an organization, our community rallied to create the Floki that is today. That being said, there's only 3 top major altcoin meme coins that have been able to survive the last crypto winters, and we are one of them. So we're no stranger to these types of changes in the market, and we've learned from the previous cycles. So what we do is we focus on development, we focus on innovation. We don't slow down, but we make sure that we're very conscious with the resources that we employ, so that we can continue to be ahead of the curve and have our finger on the pulse of where the industry is going, and which is why we were amongst the first to have a tokenized platform, which is TokenFi. So Floki continues to grow. We continue to engage with the community, and we continue to be a leader in the space.
So let's talk about TokenFi. So any updates? Let's talk about TokenFi. Any updates with TokenFi?
Oh, absolutely. So TokenFi being an all-in-one platform where you can create your own crypto project, seed funding for it, and also tokenize real-world assets, there's always continuous improvements. Right? And we've been able to add on to the platform features. One of them is TokenFi Shield. That's one of our most recent. So for the uninitiated in crypto, it's always driven by smart contracts, right? Which is the wonderful, immutable, and transparent nature of the industry. But you need to see what's in the details. It's hard to do if you're not in the industry, so we created a platform where you could put in a smart contract and understand what the vulnerabilities are. This is a wonderful tool for developers and for individuals alike, because what we're seeing now, especially in the world of tokenization, that it's not just the big, Fortune 100 companies that are looking into it. It's the gentleman that may have a hardware store down the block. It could be someone that has a auto rental business, and there's all these different businesses that are going to be using tokenization, and it's important that they have features and tools to help them, which is why we created TokenFi AI Gen, which also now creates a platform that's very easy for you to have an idea that you may want to create your own NFT, take it from your imagination to creation and to ownership in a seamless process.
Oh, neat. Okay. Yeah. What about this year? What are your expectations or any developments we should look for in 2026 for both Floki and TokenFi?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, for sure. On the development side, Floki continues to improve its flagship utility product, which is Valhalla, which is our, MMORPG. It's a blockchain-based game where individuals can play and be able to earn while playing. And it's not a novel idea. We've just been able to turn the historical narrative on blockchain gaming on its ear by creating a game that fixes some of the problems that we've seen in blockchain gaming, which is the lack of a sustainable economy or lackluster play-to-earn mechanics. So we're going to continue on the development side and go to mobile. We started with browser-based. It was important for our community that we did it. And at Floki, when you make a promise, you keep a promise. And now we're moving forward with recent patches in Valhalla, but also other enhancements to our ecosystem. So to your question, for 2026 on the Floki side, continued development throughout our ecosystem, continued development throughout Valhalla, and on the TokenFi side, we're going to see further enhancements to our TokenFi platform, a real-world asset, examples of tokenization that people could see, touch, and feel, so that they could, at scale, do this wherever they may be around the world.
So, and let's talk about just cryptocurrency in general. Yeah. So, it's been, difficult. 6 months. Where do you see, do you think like the crypto winter's going to go on for a while? Mm-hmm. We've stabilized. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's hard to tell with 100% certainty. Mm-hmm. I think that if you look at what the institutions are doing, I think that is the best indicator, right? Let's be honest. Right now, there's a big hiccup in the space, and that's the Clarity Act, right? So there's this really big debate on where is it going to go, and I think we're very close to seeing the finality of a bill that we can be happy on, depending if you're on the banking side or if you're on the crypto side. And what's pretty much holding it up is the yield, right? The bank lobbyists, they don't want the crypto companies to have that much yield to hold the stable coins, and the stable companies, they relish in the idea of being able to offer their customers, which could be me and you and any individual, right, an opportunity to do more with their savings. Mm-hmm. So I think we all win if the Clarity Act comes out with something that is reasonable. So I see that we're going to get further clarity from the Clarity Act, and either way, it's going to be a benefit because we finally have a framework. And a bad framework isn't good, right? But a great framework can really set us aside. And we have something that we didn't have a couple years ago, which was a very pro-crypto administration, where they want to be the leader in crypto around the world. And that holds so much weight that we really need to look at this with a new lens, not as decisions were made before, but in our current reality, where this administration wants to be the leader in crypto. And the traditional financial world is meeting at the intersection with crypto. What that looks like when we're done, I'm not too sure, but I think it's going to be something that we're all very happy with.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how this all shakes out. If somebody's interested in getting started in cryptocurrency, where should they start, would you suggest?
I think the best thing to do is expand your knowledge base, right? And sometimes that's easier said than done, but I think a wonderful place to start is just read on some of the major publications. Be very wary of the crypto influencer. Usually they have stakes in what they're trying to sell. But I would say that for most folks that feel that, I got in it too late, I want to look at it with that lens, because most people wanted to get into Bitcoin before it was $100, and now they feel that they can't get in. And I would say that by that metrics, the tokenization market is at its infancy, almost at a parallel to where Bitcoin was at under $100. So we don't have a time machine to go back, right? But you can now get credible information and make decisions in the tokenization of RWA so that you're better positioned for the future. So definitely getting a robust crypto education, looking at the fundamentals for projects like Floki and TokenFi. We have a University of Floki, which is designed to be able to give people crypto education and financial literacy, but there's so many other resources as well. And we're going to see just the marriage of the traditional decentralized world with the centralized financial world. And what comes out of it is better for individuals like you and me, and for the majority of the people watching.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pedro, for the update. Great to have you back.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.